So the conference is our 46th in a row. Started
Okay.
in 1969, 4 years after we were developed as an organization. This year we held in Denver, Colorado, at the Colorado Convention Center, which is located in Denver. The hotel where most people will be staying is the Hyatt, which is right next door. It's within a very quick half a block walk, not even that. The Autism Society of America's conference is the longest running national autism conference in our nation. Originally, it was set up for families. At the time in 1969, families had nowhere to turn, and it was held at a resort setting around July 4th because that would make it so people could bring their families. Most people have some couple of days off for holidays that time, so people would go. It has evolved now to one of the largest national conferences for autism in the nation. We get about 1,300 people. We get family members, we get individuals with autism, we get professionals, we get community leaders, our affiliates all join. And it's a wonderful 3.5 days of intensive, really good seminars and breakout sessions. We had about 400 proposed sessions this year, and we had to narrow it down to 88.
Okay.
But the sessions are, for each of those groups I just said who attend, individuals, there'll be individuals with autism. There's wonderful sessions for people with families. There's sessions, and professionals. There's sessions. Each day we kick off on Thursday the 9th. We kick off with a keynote speaker. The first speakers on Thursday are going to be Jane McGonigal, who is a
It's a mouthful.
I should know that, but she's a well-respected, nationally known speaker on the use of video games in kids with autism and adults with autism, and how it's a learning process, and how the whole concept of video has become an educational tool. We will also have Temple Grandin speaking on Saturday.
Oh, fantastic.
Is our closing speaker. We will have Michelle Garcia, who's a very famous, well-respected person in the autism community. And then on Friday, we have the speakers tend to talk more about the research and the medical science, physiological element. And if people want to know more about the speakers and the sessions, they could go to our website, www.autism-society.org, and on that homepage, there'll be a nice picture of the Denver conference site, and you could click, and registration and everything is there. There's day registration, so if people are watching this and they're in the Denver area and they want to come for the day, there's various registrations. We also have an exhibit hall. 75 to 100 people, 100 companies or agencies are there providing information, services, products that are unique for the autism community. But the other concept of the conference, and every year we do an evaluation, is that close to 90% of the people who go there said it was worthwhile their money, their learning was increased, they became better parents, they became better individuals with autism, they became better professionals. But they also like the networking. For 4 days you're surrounded by people who care, and it's each group feels phenomenally well. I spoke to someone who was a self-advocate, who's just a wonderful person, and she told me it was one of the few times where she was in a room with everyone that was different, including professionals, families, and how much she enjoyed being there and how well they was respected. The environment is sensitive, responsive, so we work on that. But it's just going to be a very good conference this year. And Denver is a beautiful city to have.
Mile High City.
Yeah, it's a very wonderful city. And the day before the conference, on the 7th, the day of the 7th, there's some sessions that are pre-conference that are listed on our website. The conference officially opens up Wednesday night, the 8th, with the exhibit hall and some special receptions for everyone, and then it goes real quick. But it's a wonderful thing. Our staff and our committee has been working on it almost for a year. The speakers we have are great, and we know people will love it.
Are most of the speakers happening on the 8th and 9th of July?
The speakers are keynote speakers on the morning of the 8th and the morning 9th, like 8:30 in the morning till like 10:30. The keynote speakers speak. On Saturday, Temple Grandin and a group of other people are speaking, and I think it's at 12:30 on Saturday to close out the session, because there's sessions Saturday too, and we want people to go to all those sessions. And it's just wonderful. So it's and the rooms are big enough so that we always could fit people into the sessions.
Can you speak to us about some of the topics that might be covered in the breakout sessions? And
There'll be sessions on anywhere from housing innovation, self-advocacy, understanding ABA, understanding research. People will talk about programs they're involved in, best practices that are out there that are working. And it's the networking that occurs also, because once the session is over, we see people sitting in those sessions. We kind of say, "You got to go. We got to get to the next session." But there's a tremendous amount of learning. But the sessions are all geared toward how people could go there and be better professionals, individuals who could enhance their ability to be greater self-advocates and understand that there's employment sessions about innovative employments. Plus, we also do an award ceremony, which I love doing, because we choose like the employer of the year, the person who, the group or agency or company that's really showed that there's an employer. That's the Adam Hebner Award. We do the book of the year. We do.
What's the book of the year?
The book of the year is we choose a book that people nominate that relates to autism. We have a committee who reads all the entries, and they choose. This is the book of the year. We're the Autism Society Book of the Year.
Sure.
We highlight our affiliate of the year, and there's an advocate of the year. So it's just a wonderful experience.
Okay. And what are if there were, let's say, the 2 or 3 hot topics that people seem to be most interested in for this year's conference?
This year we're going to be spending a lot of discussion about transition. I mean, and I think as you're going to see us as we move more and more into providing more information about the whole issue of adult services and the transition from high school beyond. With the whole idea of research, how do we start using research and best practices to make good decisions? So when when a mother or father learns of a diagnosis of their child, how do they know what to do based upon research? And so that's going to be a trend. The third trend is this whole concept of quality of life. How do we improve people with autism so their quality of life is the highest possible? And each day we keep increasing that. And what works and doesn't work? And what I love about the conference is it's not just professionals talking, it's individuals who are on the spectrum talking about, this worked for me or this didn't work.
Sure.
So a lot of parents will say, I heard someone talk who I envision my daughter or son may be like in 10 years. So that's really positive.